council meeting for Monday, September 23rd, 2024. I will call the meeting to order, and if we could all stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I have roll call, please, Cheryl?
J.T. Johnson?
Yes.
Adam Ryder?
Yes.
Matt Girardi?
Yeah. Number 4, approval of the agenda. Any questions or concerns, comments with anything on there? It's pretty short this week.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda that was submitted.
Second?
Second.
And roll call, please.
Adam Ryder?
Yes.
Matt Girardi?
Yep.
J.T. Johnson?
Yes.
Okay, number 5, we have a few ladies here, so we'll let you guys go ahead and give your public comments right now. It doesn't, you can stay back there.
Right here.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Okay, let me introduce myself. I am Gwen Rickardson, and we are here, part of the Don Quixote Society, and we would like to give you a little bit of information about a potential wind turbine project for Clinton and Jackson County, which would border on both of those. So at this point, the towns themselves are working at developing city ordinance to how far they would like the setbacks for the wind turbines, and these of course are industrial wind turbines, which could be between 650 or 700 feet tall. So these are much larger than any other turbines that have been put up. And the county will have the final say probably in both counties on this, but these are like recommendations and such like that, since you kind of would go into both Clinton and Jackson County a little bit from your area. So Clinton and Charlotte have already voted and went with 2 miles, which seems to be what is being kind of recommended in certain ways like that. And so we are here to kind of give you some things to think about. First off, I think you want to think about the growth of your town, because the lifespan of these turbines would be 20 to 30 years, and most of the contracts also have where they can renew. So you are making a decision that could be looking at 50 or 60 years out. And I would want you to make sure that you had enough room for growth for the town, that you did not end up with a turbine too closer to where you would want to expand yourself. Secondly, I'd like to read something which comes off of the contract for some of the leaseholders. And it says in these contracts that the landowner who has chosen to sign a lease with the wind energy developer has agreed to an effects easement, which gives the easement, meaning that they have to allow, of audio, visual, view, light, flicker, noise, shadow, vibration, air turbulence, wake, electromagnetic, electrical, and radio frequency interference, and any other effects attributed to the wind turbine located on the property. Now that's what the lease owner signs, that they are agreeing to have all these problems with light and noise and flicker, but I do not believe that the landowner and neighbor really would want to have that. And I would think that your community would also not want to deal with flashing lights, noise, and some people have sleep disturbances and things like this from those. So I wanted to mention that. Also, if you were to have these too close to your population, I think you would be looking at them complaining to you because they are too noisy and there are lights and there are problems that people have. So, you know, as a council, I would think that I would want to make sure that you had them far enough away from your population. There could be some people who say that this is a farmer's right to put on their property, and I would clearly say that they do have rights, but their rights end at the end of their property, and neighbors' rights begin there. Just as if it was an apartment building and someone was knocking on the door all night long and making noises or shining lights in your window, that's how I would look at it with these wind turbines, because there will be effects that are too close. So I would encourage you that your role is to protect the town and its residents and set your setbacks far enough to make sure that your population is well protected.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly McDonald, and I can't really top what Gwen has to say, but I will put my 2 cents in. I just really encourage you guys to really look at this and encourage a 2-mile setback from your city limits, like some of the other towns are starting to put in place. I don't live right here in the city limits, but my kids go to school here. This is my town, my town. I call this home now. And I really, want to look out for our children, our schools. She mentioned the flicker, the noise, the sound. If one of these wind turbines got up here on the hill behind the school for some odd reason, and you had this shadow flicker coming in these windows of the school at 8 a.m., how is that going to affect kids and their learning? And then the other thing I wanted to mention was just the growth of the city. In 10, 20, 30 years from now, might not affect us, but it'll affect my kids, my grandkids. And then I also drive by the new subdivision every day coming into town, bringing the kids in, and I think about that too. What if somebody put a wind turbine right up there on that hill? You're gonna have a really hard time selling those lots in that subdivision. So I just really want to encourage the 2-mile setback from the city limits.
I can't talk, you guys.
Moral support.
I have a question, and maybe I'm not sure what,
Well, we got a discussion on this, so
Oh,
if we have
gotcha.
questions, we'll do it then.
Gotcha.
Since this is public comment, we're not supposed to
gotcha.
give any feedback, so
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that here rather soon. Okay, so Amanda, are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, so let's jump down to 6, the consent agenda. Again, any questions, comments, concerns with anything on there?
Looks like the building permit for the new house.
Yeah,
Good.
yep, right, everything's good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the time Jake started digging and, laid out the roof work, Eric got a general idea of where everything was gonna sit, yeah, everything's fine, so.
Okay. That'll be good.
Okay. Yeah, unless there's any discussion needed with anything, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. And roll call, please.
J.T. Thompson,
Yes.
Matt Shorty.
Yeah.
Adam Ryder.
Yes. Okay, so let's jump to 7. Number 7, discussion on Jackson County's zoning ordinance request of setting city limit setback restrictions for wind turbines. So I guess Matt, if you wanna, whatever your question was, I guess if you wanna.
Yeah, so the 2-mile thing, I mean, what's considered out of our control as far as?
Jurisdiction?
Yeah, jurisdiction, right? So we have to approve if somebody parcels off a piece of land or something so close to town or.
That's too much.
2 miles.
Okay.
Or someone builds something, we gotta.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was 2 miles, 5, I didn't, yeah, okay.
The other towns that I've been communicating with, that is the limit of our jurisdiction that we.
2 miles is
can do.
the max we can do.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, cause they've consulted with their city attorneys and that is what they came back and recommended to approach the county with that.
Gotcha, okay.
Is that 2 miles from the edge of town, or is that 2 miles from the center of town?
No, your farthest plat.
Your farthest.
And that would be as far, so it might not be a perfect circle, but 2 miles from every,
From every edge of town.
Every border.
every jig, however it is, it's.
So it's definitely not a perfect circle. Okay,
Correct,
gotcha.
it's not like that, cause that's 2 miles.
This
from
would
the
just
middle
be
of
saying
town.
That's just
Couldn't
not-
get every single
Yeah.
point to.
That's just.
So wherever you're at on the
Yeah,
city
that really
limits,
gets
it's
to
2 miles out
Spread
from
real
there.
turn off there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
say
2
from
miles
our
from the
furthest
far-
eastern point, if we do it and Miles does it, we may meet in the middle.
will.
I mean, they would just be,
Yeah, and I actually talked to Brandon this past weekend about it, and they're gonna be discussing it too. And that was one of the points he brought up, was if we both pass it, at least between us two, it should, we should be safe. I guess that was my main question too, is like, what's the limit, what, can we go more than that, or is that, is that our maximum basically, so, but that's good to know, because
it's my
that's,
understanding that it's
Yeah.
maximum out and
and that makes sense. with
Brenda
what Matt
Miles
said.
confirmed that with me too.
Yeah.
That's what she found out.
So ladies, what's the timeline on this? Like like, how soon, like, say a person signs something, right, with them?
So, there is one project with Next Era, which would be, the farthest along that we know of.
Okay,
And, that is to the stage that they have leaseholders and Clinton is in a moratorium right now to get their ordinances in place, as is Jackson County. And, that project encompasses both Clinton and Jackson County.
okay,
It's more in Clinton County than Jackson County, but it would run into it.
gotcha.
And so there is a level of wanting to get this done during this moratorium time and everything, so that everything can be set up as it needs
Okay.
to.
Do you know how long that moratorium is by chance, or?
Clinton just passed theirs today to go for 3 more months, so then
Okay.
that would put it to the what's 3 months from today, I believe?
It'll be
December.
the end of December.
The end of December, and
Yeah.
Jackson County, when they originally put theirs on, it was for a year, but then, now they have the very first draft of some of their things, which will be open for public comment, and they have the date set for that at the Onward Center.
Okay,
I don't know if you have heard, but Clinton's had, very large attendance at our meetings, about 500 people at our 2 open
Oh,
public
wow.
meetings.
wow,
And you
That was
could,
in Northeast.
at Northeast High School, and you can watch the Zoom of that if you want, so you could look back, because a lot of information was brought forward.
okay,
That would give you a great detail on that.
sure,
So, of that, there would have been, you had a limit of 3 minutes to speak with a limit to go to 4 minutes, but we've had 70 or 80.
At least.
I don't know, speeches that, were all bringing up different concerns about that.
sure.
And so far, we have not had anyone from Clinton County who had a supporting speech for the turbines. The people from Next Era, however, did, but they were not Clinton County residents or were paid employees. So there's been, strong opposition in Clinton County, and I would assume that Jackson County, there would be a lot of people. And this coalition, when it was created, as you see on our shirts and such, is for Clinton and Jackson County both. And so we are trying to, educate people and help us where we can between both counties.
Yeah, yeah. It's appreciated, because like I said, I mean, I've seen the stuff around, I've kinda heard things back and forth, but I haven't really, as far as knowing the ins and outs of it.
And just to add to that, the counties will need the recommendations from the cities before they can finalize their ordinances. So
Oh,
the sooner
okay.
that you guys get these recommendations to them, so they can incorporate that into their
So you're saying
ordinances.
if we pass the 2 miles, that's not set in stone, that the county
It
can
needs to
still?
be codified by the county afterwards.
I see.
So
Yeah.
you would need to do this, and then I think the county is the.
This is our recommendation if we were to pass this, and then they're gonna look at it as a whole and decide from
Yes,
there
right,
if it's.
which
And
is
if-
very important.
If all the cities do it, it just shows that, yes, okay, we need to pass this.
I see.
When I reached out to Lori Rowling at the zoning commission, county, she said that there's no current language in their ordinance as it is regarding setbacks. And, she said as of the time I reached out to her, that none of the supervisors had been contacted by any cities or, weren't told that there is, but she thought the commission would listen and consider even request to just listen to us and, what we wish is without a resolution, but I think the more resolutions. So the difference between resolution, we passed the resolution and that is our
Right.
short, and then there's a public hearing on the 21st of October for the county, that someone should possibly attend and maybe present the wish to show the support of what we decide we want to do.
So the difference, I don't know if I can speak.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
yeah, go
difference
for it.
between Clinton and Jackson County is Clinton County already has ordinances in place. They have wind ordinances from 2008 that are in place, but they're weaker. Jackson County has no ordinances in place for wind turbines at all. So they have to start fresh. Clinton County is just trying to update their wind ordinances.
I did find on the Jackson County website that they have a draft one ready,
Right,
but
right,
it
nothing
doesn't have
in
that
place.
language
Right.
in it.
However, this project that is more in Clinton County, that's why there's been so much more emphasis in Clinton, it bleeds over into Jackson County. But because of that, that's why there's been so much more probably discussed, but
Yeah.
Jackson County really needs to, because
Follow suit.
not only if there isn't this company, there is other companies who are also looking. So they need to get these ordinances done because, just because this company doesn't mean there's not 3 more in the wings.
So is that how this whole thing kinda got started then, is that, is it basically just they were out looking for land to put these turbines on, is basically how it
They're
how it
looking
ended
for
up?
counties with a weak ordinance.
I gotcha.
Or no ordinance.
Gotcha, okay,
Yes.
okay, that makes sense.
So it's very important for Preston, I feel like, because we are right on, it's important for the whole county, but it's very important for Preston, Miles, because we are so close to this county line.
Right.
And it's right where
right
they're. where
And
want
they
to
are
be.
coming right
Gotcha.
up,
Gotcha.
right up to the county line. I mean, there's contracts right, basically between here and Miles, just.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
And another thing, which if you haven't been following it, these would be the largest turbines built in Iowa. So we do not have the schematics and have asked for them, and we kind of continue to kind of grow, but we're looking at double the size is a lot of what you're used to thinking in your mind.
Yeah,
Now, when they get bigger, they also get louder, and there's some more concerns with that. So when you look at your setbacks and such like that, even as the county, you wanna take that into consideration. So as you travel across the state and you see some that have been there for 5, 10 years, these are going to be much bigger, double.
Those are, say, 400 foot to the tip of the blade. These are gonna be between 600 and 700 foot to the tip of the blade, right now. That depends on what the Met tires that they have up tell them, as far as the wind. They've already went up in height from the time they put them up. So, I mean, they could go all the way up to 800 foot in height. It just depends on what these Met towers tell them.
gotcha, okay.
And then the bigger they are, the louder they are. And noise is the biggest complaint. And some people have a hard time sleeping and such. So when they talk about it, what is acceptable according to a lot of these companies, they would equate with a moderate conversation. That'd be 24/7, that you would all be listening, that amount of noise. So, you wanna take this very seriously and try and eliminate
Yeah.
as much of these problems as you could.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it makes sense, and, that's the goal, right, is you're trying to plan for the future, right?
Right.
Trying to do the best you can, and, so
I
yeah,
feel like
that's-
there's a place for them, but we are so populated here in Clinton and Jackson counties. We're so close to schools, to towns. I mean, there's a house every, how close? I mean,
Right.
you go out to western central Iowa where they are, and there's
Right,
a house every,
right. That
square
makes
mile,
more
one
sense out
house,
there.
and where they're located, and we're just very populated around here. We just really need to protect, our schools and our kids learning, and kids that already have maybe a disability or something that affects them,
Sensory issues.
yeah, I mean,
Another major concern of a lot of people is that the heavy equipment that they will bring in to put these in will severely damage the roads and will probably not be put back into good shape again, because these would be way more than so much. So it would be a real problem for roads during the construction stage and such like that. And one other thing I would wanna bring out is that we have some of the best agricultural and farmland in America, and, they're gonna bring in so much cement and damage to the property that some of this ground would never go back into production again, and so, that's another concern about putting this on prime agricultural ground.
Okay. All right, well, does anybody have any other questions? I guess, like I said, we just kind of put it on tonight as a discussion. This is the first brought it up and entertained the idea of needing to do something. So, I think we'll probably put it on the agenda, for next meeting, to, put a resolution on the table and see where it goes.
And
from
feel
there.
free to reach out to any of us. My husband's worked on 17 wind farms decommissioning projects, so he knows a lot about them. So if you have any questions at all as far as the, decommissioning, the damage they'll do, I mean, just the noise, he slept on 50-some wind farms, we had 50-some nights on a wind farm, he added up, and, it's just, there's a lot of information, a lot to know about them,
Yeah, there's a lot to it.
so.
Okay. Well, thank you, ladies. We appreciate you guys
Well,
coming in.
thank you for allowing us to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, so.
Yep.
Okay, we'll table this for now, and then, we'll put it on the agenda for next meeting, so. Okay, so let's jump to 8, discuss and consider approval, of Donald Wentworth to serve on the Preston Library Board. I don't have any issues with that.
No, I think if someone wants to donate their time.
Yep.
But I know he donated a lot of his time, the Preston books
Yeah,
that
the
they put
books,
together.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he was one of the
No, I-
key people behind that,
Yeah.
both of those.
He's a very good candidate for that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Somebody wants to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Donald Wentworth to serve on the Preston Library Board.
Second?
Second.
And roll call, please.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
Casey Thompson,
Yes.
Matt Jardy.
Yep. Okay, let's jump to other business. Ordinance enforcement update procedures. Chad messaged me today and said he wasn't gonna be able to be here tonight, but he said he really didn't have anything new as far as information wise to go on the enforcement. I know he said the last time we talked about it, he was waiting until the last, letter had been sent out. I think there was a 30-day, period on there, and then he was going to, make the appropriate steps after that. 30 days was up from that last letter that got sent out, so. So that's kind of the gist on that.
There was something in your packet on the certified letter that was sent on that
Yes,
property.
yep, and then, yeah, he's been in touch with the lawyer about, the property, down the road here, trying to get things moving on that, so.
I don't see everything happens.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what,
That was a well-written
yeah,
letter.
it was,
I really-
yeah. So that's kind of the gist of that, unless Cheryl, you know anything else, or any more on that?
No, I've been gone all last week and Chad really hasn't said any more,
Okay.
so.
Then the last one is just the playground, equipment awarding bid. James and Tina DeShane, are the winners of the old playground equipment at Peppermint Park, with a very generous, bid. And so that will go towards the Peppermint Park Fund and kind of help wrap things up down there, so. Yeah, we obviously thank them very much for their bid, and, yeah, it'll go a long ways. So, other than that, yeah, that project is, I would say, 99% complete. There's a little bit of sidewalk work to do down there, and maybe a little border work, but other than that, it's.
Did we get the replacement piece for that?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yes.
I have not.
Or did we?
Did we get it?
We got it on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Thursday or Friday.
Oh,
It's
okay.
at Bruce and Martin's.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay, I did not know that. So that, yeah, so I'm sure Bruce will put that on in a couple days, so.
Did I
Maybe we
read
did.
or dream that some of the cement work and stuff has been donated, or?
Yeah, we were going to, the park committee had a letter together, thanking everybody. But yes, a lot of the concrete was donated, and then Quint, with County Line, donated, a majority of the labor to do the sidewalk. lot of community members, Jesse Kilberg, helped us this past weekend with the spreading of the mulch, and bringing some equipment down, so. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it takes a community effort to do something like that, and it was very well done, so.
The
So,
bills
yeah.
have started coming in, I'm just wondering how
Yeah,
many more to expect.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, other than that, unless anybody else
Close to the
says.
finish line on it.
Yeah, yeah.
No, the street project looks nice, it just drove down.
Yeah,
through that.
yeah.
The dirt work is,
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it looks
they
really
did-
good.
They did a nice job.
I haven't been down, I stayed away from down there, just where they're doing everything, but it looks really nice.
Yeah, yeah, it turned out well. Turned out well.
Looks like probably just a couple small little things to do.
Yeah, I think they just had some touch-up stuff to do. That was kind of the update I got last week was, either.
I took a ride, well, obviously I'm down there quite often, but,
Yeah.
on School Street, I see there's a couple signs still down there. And I have mental note to talk to Eric about,
Yeah.
are we reusing those or getting new? I don't know.
I don't know if we ever even talked about that, to be honest with you.
I don't think so either.
he said that they had to put them back in.
They did on one call last
Oh,
week.
did they?
Put it back in.
Okay, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, if they need replaced, or if we need to get new posts on, or what, we can,
Yeah, just get it done.
yeah, we can do it, so. But yeah, well, that project is pretty much wrapped up too, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good things happening, so.
Wish we had more money to do more of those.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
The next street up would look nice. wouldn't
yes, it would, yes.
I know when you see what that did for that end of town, you'd like to spread that
yeah.
out even further.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It'd be really nice to get the next, street up,
Yeah, just finish that whole
area.
All right, Cheryl or Tracy, you got anything? Okay, all right, sounds good. I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion here.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
J.C. Thompson,
Yes.
Matt Shorty,
Yep.
Adam Ryder.
Yes.